Welcome back to the Vinyl Word Podcast. I'm Steve Beach.
And I'm Brian Mayer. Hello.
So we are on side 2 of Stan the Man's hit record today.
I love the pun.
Yeah, exactly. It really is a hit.
Yep. So Steve, you did some research about Stan, and it turns out that we say baseball is American as apple pie. When they interviewed Apple Pie said it wanted to be as American as Stan Musial.
Yes, that's probably true. Yeah, he served in World War II, and he also received a Congressional Medal of Honor from former President Barack Obama a few years ago.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
That is, and we definitely want to say that because he sounds great. Stan is an All-American, but he's an All-American from a very specific moment in time.
Sure.
And that's what we're having fun with more than anything.
Yeah, just more of this macho kind of image during that time.
Stan, right about here, let's
Funk
talk
show,
about
brother,
another
right
dramatic
about now.
highlight in your career, that of Stan the Man Musial. It's a 1955 All-Star game in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for.
In the last half
good
of the
land.
12th inning,
Yeah, he had a lot of old
The National
Milwaukee
League five,
during that weekend, too.
the
Got really
American
drunk.
League five.
I'm sure.
The National League sends up Stan Musial, Willie Mays, and Ted Kluszewski facing the big
Gesundheit.
right-hander Frank Sullivan. Nobody on base and nobody out. Sullivan's first pitch to Stan is swung on to the drive back into right field. A long one. The ball game is over.
And then we hear the ocean.
And there was much rejoicing, Steve.
In the last half of the 12th inning, Stan Musial.
Finally, someone who can pronounce his name right.
Hit the first pitch.
Not
Deep into the
musical.
right field bleachers, and there's a mob scene
Mucinex.
down at home plate. And he's
Musial.
greeted by the entire National League team. Home run for Musial in the last half of the 12th inning.
You know, you hear that home run, I can't help but remember talking to Yogi about that, how Yogi
Hey,
said
boo-boo,
to Stan,
did you see that home
You know,
run?
Stan,
I
you gotta
did,
realize that he's a
Yogi.
very accommodating guy. He talks to catchers and he finishes his conversation when he comes across home plate. In this All-Star game, extra innings and Yogi's feet were hurting, so he said, "Come on, Stan, my feet are hurting."
He
so
said,
Stan said, "Okay,
"Suck
Yogi,
it up,
help you
Buttercup."
out." Bongo, the big home run, game's over. National
He say
League win.
bongo?
Yogi's feet don't hurt
think so.
anymore.
Before we start swinging the bat, we first must learn when to swing it. This is
Usually
very
when the ball is
important,
coming.
and
Yeah.
I want to call attention to the broken white line on picture number 13.
That's the line he
top of
crossed on the road
strike
when he was
zone
drunk.
for you little leaguers. A pitch
I'm gonna
thrown
leave that
above that
alone.
is a ball. The regular strike zone is represented by a solid white line that runs across the top of the shoulders. Remember my telling you that you should keep your hands high when taking your stance. Well, that's to protect yourself against a pitch that is in the top part of the strike zone. If your
Okay.
hands are high, you can get a good level
They should
swing
quit
at that
smoking
pitch.
pot.
A level swing, that's important. So now we understand where the strike zone is. Let's go on to the next picture.
It's a picture of Stan flexing his muscles.
Here you can see
Of
the
course
width
it
of
is.
that strike zone. It's 17 inches wide, which is the same as the plate. I have my bat extended in my swing.
That is the strike
and you
zone,
can see that
the width
bat
of the
covers
plate,
the
right?
area
Yes.
of
I'm not
the
missing.
plate.
Okay.
Yes.
You must make sure of this. You don't want to swing and miss any part of that plate. In baseball, you don't give anything away.
Especially free
to
autographs.
pitchers. Now, while we're still looking at this picture of the strike zone, and we know that we got the plate covered with the extended
You
bat,
don't want to give it away, Steve. You want
notice
to keep
that
it
my
like the
bat is
Kaiser.
level with
That's
the
right.
ground. That means that it is being swung correctly. Don't swing down on the ball with a chopping action.
Like
Keep
an
your hands
axe.
level with the
Yes.
pitch, and your swing will be level and you won't drive that ball into the ground. And above all, with a level swing,
I'm just
you won't be
imagining
hitting
baseball
up on the
players
ball,
taking overhead
which often
swings now.
causes pop-ups or easy flies
Shouldn't be
to
doing
the
that.
outfield. Let's go to
You're gonna
picture
tear up the
number
dirt with that
15
axe.
and take another look at it.
What's he looking at?
First
I
thing
don't
to
know.
pay attention to in this picture is that the weight is entirely on the front foot. That's ensuring power in the swing. Also, if you look at my head and eyes, you'll see
You'll
that the
fall in
head
love.
is turned so that the eyes are on the point of impact. That's the proof that I've kept my eye on the ball, and the swing has been well timed because I'm meeting the ball in front of the plate. Look closely at my hands and wrists. You can tell that I've got a good firm grip on the bat, and my wrists have already snapped and are starting to turn over for the
wrists are snapped?
follow-through in the direction
Snappy
that I've
wrists.
hit the ball. The expression of my face is one of determination. Right here is a good time for me to tell you boys that you must
Start
be
a bench
aggressive in
emptying
your hitting.
fight.
Yeah, you need to have a look of
Confidence is also
determination when
important.
you hit.
You
I
must
guess so.
believe, like I do, that every time you go up to
Raise
the plate,
one eyebrow
you're
slightly
going
over
to get
the
a
other.
base hit. Stride right into that pitch and hit it. Now, I don't mean by that you should be swinging with all your might and trying for a home run every time you're up there, but I do mean that
That's
you
a
should
shocker.
be an offensive hitter and not a defensive one.
That's right, offensive.
Don't be
Say
looking
things
for
to
that
the
base on
umpires that
balls.
really offend them.
Go up there to hit, and you'll do it more often
Your
than
mom is
not.
ugly.
Stan, to listen to you talk about hitting the way you're doing it, it sounds like you're giving away some of the secrets of hitting. Some guys make it sound so secret.
Well, one of the secrets of hitting, Joe, is to meet the ball at all times.
Introduce
And meet it
yourself.
with a hard,
Hi,
controlled
I'm the
swing.
baseball player. How are you?
But don't have a lazy swing.
So you
Don't
come
swing
here
all
You,
often?
you say
hard to
lazy
get a
swing
pitch.
or lady swing?
If you made up your mind that
According to
it's a good
Stan,
pitch,
it's the same thing.
swing at
I
it
guess
with
so.
force and really mean it. Attack the ball. If the pitcher throws that ball
You were
in
just
strike
supposed to
zone,
introduce
swing at
yourself
it.
to the ball.
Right.
If you don't
Now you're
swing,
attacking
you
it?
can't hit it.
Grabbing it, throwing it on the
make
ground,
up your
showing it
mind
who's
you're not
boss.
going to
That ball
tank
is gonna
any
be
pitches
very
that are thrown in the
confused.
strike
Yes.
zone. Don't worry
It's a
about
kind of a
striking
toxic
out.
relationship.
You look a lot better striking out swinging at a pitch than you do standing there with the bat on your shoulder.
Like a moron.
Just remember to always be on the attack when you're in that batter's box and act accordingly. Another thing, you must hit the ball where it's pitched.
Stan, what do you
You
mean
can't
you must hit
teleport
the
it to
ball
somewhere
where it's
else?
pitched?
I
Are you
guess
talking
not.
about all pitches, or are you
I'm
talking
playing in the
about
Yankee
a
Stadium, but I'm going to
particular
teleport it to the Marlin Stadium.
I'm talking about pitches within the strike zone now. You know, there's quite
Thanks
a
for the
few places
clarification.
they can throw that ball and still be in the strike zone. If the pitch is on the outside of the plate, step in toward it and drive it to the opposite field with less body turn and not so much wrist action.
Ooh,
If the ball
Less
is
wrist
thrown on
action.
the inside of the plate,
it's kind of
the bat
sultry.
must be brought around more quickly as you step toward the pitcher. The wrist must snap that bat around to get that good wood on the ball.
Make sure you got
Don't
good
get
wood on the ball.
discouraged if at first you hit a lot of balls back
That's
to the
one
pitcher
phrase that
or
I'm not going to
center
get tired
field.
of hearing.
This means that your timing is good and that you're meeting the ball squarely.
Stan, how about pulling the ball,
square ball?
or hitting the ball to the opposite field?
The ability to pull a ball or hit to the opposite field
Which you don't
comes
know how
only
to
with
do,
practice
Joe.
and a lot of it. You must adjust your foot action so that you're not swinging too soon or too late. You'll find that
Swing
a faster
perfectly,
stride
like
and
me.
a quicker swing
Just as I am
increases the
doing.
ability to pull the ball. To hit to the opposite field, you wait longer, take your normal swing, and punch the ball.
Your normal
Takes
swing?
more skill to hit
Normal?
to the opposite
Yeah.
field.
It's a
and you've got to
Garfield
practice
reference?
I think so.
maintain this.
And you punch the ball, you
Above
don't hit it.
all,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to step in toward the plate for that outside pitch. As long as you're wearing a helmet and you have no business hitting, even in practice without one, you can't get hurt.
Tell
So
that to
spend
Don
a lot of
Baylor.
time stepping in and punching
You're
that ball to
invincible.
the opposite field.
That helmet provides
To be able to hit
protection
the
for
ball
all
field
parts of your
is,
body.
of course, a tremendous advantage because the opposing team doesn't know how to set their defense against you. You got
Okay,
them
Steve, I
guessing
thought
as
defense
where
in
you're going to
baseball
hit
was
the
just
ball,
dudes standing in
and
the
your
out
ability
in the
to
field
cross them up
stretching
makes for
themselves.
winning baseball.
No, it's more than
Stan,
that, I
You
guess.
spoke a while
Okay.
ago about wrist action and snap of the wrist.
Ooh.
Can you cover that just a little more thoroughly?
I think he kind of
I
has
sure
a thing
can,
for
Joe.
Stan.
So
I
let's
think he
get
does,
right
too.
to that picture, number 16, and further analyze the swing.
Why are you standing on a tire swing
This
in
close
this
shot
picture?
of the wrist
'Cause he's happy,
shows you
Steve.
the proper
It's
okay.
position and impact. The bat is being whipped through the ball and into the follow-through. The wrist will continue to turn until at the end of the follow-through, the position of the wrists will be reversed. The lower wrist will actually be on top as the arms swing around to the rear. And that brings us to the follow-through, so let's go to picture number 17.
It's a picture of Stan's rear.
Yeah.
The bat has
Swinging
been swung
around.
completely around, just about as far as it will go. And notice that even though
Your
I've
rear
gone
can only go so
completely
far,
around,
Steve.
that I still got a good hold on that bat. Whatever you do, don't throw or sling that bat after you've swung. That's a very bad habit to get into and a hard one to break.
Can you swing
don't
multiple
do it.
times at one ball?
Another
I
thing
guess.
to note in the follow-through is that the weight is still on that forward foot where it should be. Now look at the rear foot. It's being dragged forward from the place where it was anchored in the stance. It's now
Anchored.
ready to take that first step toward first base.
Stan, what do you think are the hardest pitches to hit?
Joe, the high inside
ones that
pitch
aren't thrown.
and the low
Yeah.
outside pitch are the hardest balls to hit. I know they are for me, and for most hitters in the big leagues as well. So, boys, let's move along to the next picture number
Again,
18.
girls are not allowed to listen to this record.
Right. It's all boys.
First, notice that the body and knees are straightened up.
I think the Oklahoma
because the
softball
pitch is
team would have
high,
something to say about
and the
that.
hands
believe
are
so,
kept
too.
high for that level swing. It's on the inside of the plate, so you should step toward the pitcher and not toward the plate for this one. By stepping toward the pitcher, you have a chance to get that bat around. And, at
And
the
pushing
same
him around
time,
on the mound.
Get that bat of the bat on the ball. Otherwise,
bat of the
you'll
bat.
be hitting the ball on the handle.
You always want to
And
use bat
chances are,
fat.
if you do, you'll be an easy out. All right, let's go to the next album picture.
I'd like
which
to
is
be an
number
easy
19.
date, Stan. How about that?
Stan, all pitchers pitch low. It's a tough one to hit.
Swing
What can you do
low.
about this low pitch?
This is a real tough pitch to hit, boys, but it can be done. First, notice that I've bent my body lower to get better leverage from my swing, and also that I've lowered my
Make
hands
it impossible
to keep
for
my
a pitcher
swing
to
as
get into
level
my
as I
strike
can.
zone.
If it's right across the knees, which is where most pitchers try to throw, I've got
That's
to
where
drop the
bees
head of
hang
my
out.
bat enough to get down
bee's
to where the
knees.
ball is. Remember that you got to step in toward the plate to successfully hit this pitch, because it's on the outside of the plate, and you must get the fat part of the bat over to where the ball is.
He loves the fat of the
Stan,
bat.
Steve,
you're a
I'm going to
fine
have
bunter,
you
and that's
show
a very
me
important part
what
of
bat
hitting.
fat is.
What does it take to become a good
I'm not sure I
bunter?
can explain it.
Joe, picture number 20. This
It's a
is the
sequel.
first
I
one
don't
on
really
the
want
bunter.
you to show me
So
either,
let's look
so.
at that now. The ability to bunt should be mastered by every ball player. Just because you're either a pitcher or a slugger is no reason why you shouldn't learn to bunt and to bunt well. First, remember that in a bunt situation, you should take your normal stance as I'm
making
doing,
butt cakes?
and don't commit yourself to the bunt until the last possible moment.
It's clearly a bunt.
And
It's
set
clearly
the
a bunt cake
defense
he's
against
talking
you.
about.
Keep those infielders back as long as you can. Now let's go to picture 21 in your Stand the Man picture album. I'll tell you about it.
It's a picture of Stan making a butt cake.
Here you see I'm
Flour
facing the
everywhere,
pitcher.
wearing a
I've
Kiss the
swung
Cook
around
apron.
by pivoting on my front foot, and my body is squared off facing the pitch. My lower hand has retained its position near the bottom of the handle, while my other hand has been moved down toward the trademark.
My eyes are
Keep it that high
twinkling.
because it's
My
much
smile
easier
is
to
wry.
lower it than to bring it up. In a sacrifice situation, most pitchers try to keep the ball
I
high
sacrificed my entire innocence
in the hopes
to
that
have a
you'll
good time
pop
in
it up
baseball.
in the air. So it's
Drunk,
best to be
cheating,
ready for
you
the
know, all
high
that fun
pitch.
stuff.
Bend
Getting
if the
arrested.
ball comes low, and drop your hands. And remember to hold that bat loosely in your hands and let the ball hit it. The recoil of the bat will help the ball roll slowly in the infield.
Okay, so in
which
a
is what you
bunt,
want.
you don't
Stan, when you
have
talk
the
about
bat hit the ball.
bunt,
You have
use
the ball
word
hit the
sacrifice
bat.
bunt.
Correct.
You know, I kind of think that word sacrifice
Isn't that kind of the same
wraps
thing?
up this game of baseball. It's
That makes
exactly what it
no
means.
sense to me at all.
Joe, baseball
understand
is a team
baseball.
game. It's the team that's important, not the individual. Always remember that. And remember also that it is a sport, and it has a code of rules which must be
It's
obeyed.
a sport.
Yeah. It's important to remember that it's not a
Sportsmanship is an important
religion.
factor.
It's not a system
Play
of
hard
government.
and play to win. Never quit and never give up until the last man is out. And another thing, your coaches and managers are there to help you learn the fundamentals of the game. Go to them for advice and do as they say. Above all, remember there is no better way to improve yourself than to keep practicing at it.
Stan, you've played baseball a long time, longer than most big league stars. What's your secret?
Joe,
3
I've been
letters,
lucky, I know
Joe.
that.
CBD.
I've always kept in
It
top
really helps
condition.
keep you relaxed.
I've never
It
been
does.
seriously injured, and I always watch my diet. Sleep is
I like
most
how the first thing
important.
he mentions is
You
luck.
can't play baseball well when you're tired.
It's the one thing that you
Weight,
can
of
really
course,
control.
is another factor. If you find
Yep.
yourself putting on that extra weight so that those scales are going up too fast, try pushing yourself away from the table before you stuff yourself.
So lay off the
Plenty
ding
of
dongs.
exercise.
Fatty.
An 8 hour sleep should be the right
But they're
program
so
for any
good.
young boy. And now, Joe, I've been talking a long time.
Yes,
So
you
before
have.
I go over the high spots and sort of a recap, of what I've been telling the boys. How about a few of those stories of yours?
Stan, you keep talking about stories of mine, and really they're not stories. It's just that I'm trying to prove a point that when catchers are talking to umpires, that's exactly what they're doing. They're not
Now,
stories.
isn't that the
They're
definition
not
of a
arguing,
story?
they're just trying to
Yes.
When you
help.
tell somebody
I
something
can
that
remember
happened,
a game
that's a
where
story.
Dewey Williams,
Yes.
the catcher, was asked to leave. He merely asked one simple question. Came at a bad time, I'll grant you that. It was a 2-2 count, and a pitch came across his cap. Beans reared and said, "Strike!" And when he called it strike 3, all Dewey Williams asked was one question.
What you
He
gonna do
said,
with all
"Hey,
that junk?
Beans,
All that
how
junk
can you
up in
get
your
that
trunk?"
square head in a round mask?" Hank Sauer got kicked out of a game. You think these are stories? They're not. Hank Sauer got kicked
That's the
out
definition
of a
of a
game
story,
for just trying
Joe.
to help an umpire. You know how a mask
He's
is
a
made with
beanhead.
an iron bar on top and an iron bar at the bottom? After
Yes,
the third
it's a
strike,
catcher's
that was a bad
mask. I think
time,
Stan knows
but
what a
Hank
catcher's
Sauer
mask
just
looked like.
suggested, he said to the umpire, if you look between
Talk about
the bars
mansplaining.
instead of through the iron, you'd see better. And you would. Those are not stories, Stan. We're just trying to help umpires. All catchers are trying to help them.
Just trying
Of course, a guy like you, everybody likes you. Umpires,
I also asked an
catchers,
umpire why he married
why
a
you've
horse
been
for a
great ball
wife.
player, and you've set
That's
up
just a
any
story,
number of
Bob.
records.
Come
You
on,
know,
Stan.
I don't get tired of hearing about your records. Here's another record-breaking performance of yours. That's when a record that had stood for many years was finally broken.
I like how he gets very specific there. Many.
So let's go back to that momentous day in Los Angeles in 1962.
Here's Musial.
Okay. Musial.
Back in the Midwest, it's Sunday, May the 20th. Here in Los Angeles, it's Saturday, May the 19th. Musial
But in Texas, it's June 5th.
Yeah. There's a temporal anomaly happening right now.
And there was dead silence. Oh, there it is.
There's a pitch by the left-hander. There's a line drive to the right. There it is! There it is!
Oh my goodness!
Listen to this crowd! A standing ovation!
Oh, the humanity.
It's a tornado! Everyone's running in panic!
Oh, there's a boat.
Obviously, barges went through there often.
Right.
I bet he's glad that's over, Harry. The 3,431st hit of his career, an all-time National League record, breaking the mark held for many years by Honus Wagner. A mark that Wagner...
Honus Wagner. He's that baseball card guy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
His is the most expensive. I don't know why. Did you never hear about him?
Yeah.
Other than the card.
This is it.
Now, boys, let's get back to Stan the Man for some last-minute tips.
Boys, let's just go over some of the
He's
important
in love with
points
Stan.
I
and
think
what I've
he
been
is.
telling you about hitting. Don't try and swing too heavy a bat, and find one that handles easily.
Get the biggest club you can find.
Remember how I told you to grip the bat. Line your hands up
Yeah.
properly and grip
Not
the
too
bat
hard,
firmly,
not too soft.
but not
Perfect.
too tight. Stand
Just
comfortable
as
in
he
the
is doing.
batter's box. Don't try to imitate anyone. Hold your
But
hands
be like
high
me.
and
Right.
keep your arms from being too close to your
Don't
body.
imitate anyone and listen to your
Keep your head
coaches.
still and your eyes on the ball. Don't overstride. Hit the
Wear
ball
a
where
helmet
it's
and be
pitched
invincible.
with a hard level swing and try to hit to all fields. Be an aggressive hitter, but don't swing too hard.
And like Pete Rose,
Be a
don't
team
forget to bet on
player,
your own
and
team.
remember that baseball is a sport to enjoy. Above all, have fun playing baseball.
For it's 1, 2, 3 beers you're drunk at the old ball game. Okay, so Steve, we've listened to Stan Musial side 1 and 2, and I have a question for you.
Okay.
How many kids do you think tried this and became better hitters? Or to ask it another way, what percentage of boys improved as baseball players because Stan made a record?
Well, I do remember watching one time this interview with Mark McGuire, and they asked him, Mark, what is your secret? Besides steroids, of course. And he said, well, as a child, I remember listening to this record from Stan Musial. I heard that so many times during baseball player interviews.
Yep. It goes without saying, I suppose.
Yes. So it was very beneficial, I guess. So thank you again for listening, and be sure to subscribe to our podcast so that you can get alerts whenever we have new episodes. And you can also contact us through Twitter. That is at WordVinyl. And if you want to send us any email for any comments, questions, or anything, you can do that at vinylword22@gmail.com.
And please keep listening because we have some exciting records coming.
Yes, we do.
They get weirder and weirder, and I love it.